Hello again. This is In the Know with Dr. A. Today we're going to focus on type 2 diabetes, how to protect your health. Your doctors may mention blood sugars. You may know family members like your aunt or your sister who's been diagnosed. Every news article that you read references diabetes epidemic, but nobody explains what this actually means for your daily decisions. What do you eat? How to move? When to worry? And what can you actually control? I'm going to cut through all the medical jargon. No scare tactics, no impossible recommendations, just clear information to help you make better choices. We'll start with what is type 2 diabetes? When you eat food, especially carbohydrates like bread, rice, or anything with sugar, your body breaks it down into glucose. Glucose is fuel. Your cells need it for energy. Here's the problem. Glucose can't just walk into your cells on its own. It needs a helper called insulin, a hormone that is made in your pancreas. Think of insulin as the key that unlocks the door to your cells, allowing glucose to enter. In type 2 diabetes, this system breaks down. Either your cells become resistant to insulin, the lock is rusty, and the key no longer works. So, glucose can't come into the cells. Or your pancreas doesn't make enough insulin anymore. Often, both of these things are happening together. The results? Glucose builds up in your bloodstream because they can't get into the cells. Over time, the high blood sugar damages your blood vessels and nerves. Meanwhile, your cells aren't getting fuel. And that explains why people with uncontrolled diabetes feel exhausted. It's also very important to know that 90 to 95% of all diabetes cases are type 2, and they're strongly linked to lifestyle factors, which means you have real influence over your risk. Here are some interesting numbers. 38.4 million Americans have diabetes. That's roughly 1 in 9 people. Of the 38.4 million Americans with diabetes, 8.7 of them, or 8.7 million, don't even know it. Another staggering number is that almost 98 million Americans have prediabetes. That's where the blood sugar is elevated, but not quite at diabetes level. It's a warning sign, and over 80% of those people don't even know it. Here's some encouraging information. Research shows that modest lifestyle changes can reduce type 2 diabetes risk by almost 58%. And if you're over 60, that risk drops by 71%. These beat medications overall. So it's important to know your risk. Some factors you just can't change, like your age and family history. But the major ones, the ones that have the greatest impact, you definitely have an opportunity to make a difference. One is weight. It is the single largest modifiable factor. Excess body fat, especially around your abdomen, increases insulin resistance. Just losing 5 to 7% of your body weight significantly improves how your body handles blood sugar. Don't forget physical activity. It really matters. Muscles are a major glucose consumer. When you don't move, blood sugar rises. Regular movement makes your cells more responsive to insulin, allowing the door to open and sugar to get into the cells for energy. Diet quality, well, we know it. It plays a direct role. Processed foods, sugary drinks, refined carbs, they spike your sugars. Foods like vegetable, whole grains, lean protein, they protect against diabetes. Let me not tell you, chronic sleep deprivation and prolonged stress really raises your blood sugar. Now that you understand your risk factors, what are some practical changes that you can start today? One, you don't need to diet. You don't need to count calories or have complicated meal plans. We can just use a simple framework. Let's start with the plate. Half of your plate, put some non-starchy vegetables, leafy greens, broccoli, pepper, tomatoes, green beans. These are low in calories, high in fiber, and they won't spike your blood sugar. A quarter of the plate includes some protein, like chicken, fish, beans, tofu. These keep you full without raising your blood sugar. And then the other quarter, add some whole grains, some starchy food, like brown rice, sweet potato. One last thing that we can do is Cut the liquid sugar. A 20-ounce soda can contains 65 grams of sugar. Switch to water, unsweetened tea, black coffee. These won't spike your blood sugars. Last but not least, keep moving. You don't need to be in the gym to move. Research says movement does not require a gym membership. Walk after meals, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. That really lowers your blood sugars. Take the stairs, park further away from your office, set hourly reminders to stand. Small movements add up. Find activities that you really enjoy. Gardening, dancing, swimming, playing with your kids, these all count. Try to aim for about 150 minutes per week, but start where you are today. 10 minutes daily beats 0 minutes. We talked about sleep. Sleep deprivation impairs insulin sensitivity. You want to target 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night. Treat your sleep like a health priority, not like a luxury. Let me tell you, chronic stress keeps your cortisol level elevated, which means your blood sugar will also be elevated. You need to build some recovery time, mental recovery time into your day. Maybe 10 minutes of deep breathing, time outside, have a hobby, connect with friends and family. These are not just indulgence. These are healthcare interventions. Well, now that we understand the things that we can do, one important step that we can take is get tested for diabetes or prediabetes. A1C is a test that measures the average blood sugar over 2 to 3 months, and no fasting is required. If you have an A1C below 5.7%, that is normal. 5.7 to 6.4, that is prediabetes. 6.5 and higher is diabetes. Who should get tested? Well, everyone over 45 and older, every 3 years if normal. Adults under the age of 45 who are overweight with other risk factors. Anyone experiencing symptoms like increased thirst, frequent urination, or unexplained fatigue. Don't assume just because you're fine that you're okay. Remember, many people with diabetes or prediabetes are unaware because they have no symptoms. If you get diagnosed with prediabetes, it isn't a life sentence. It's actually an opportunity. This is the stage where lifestyle changes work best. Your blood sugars can return to normal. The CDC's National Diabetes Prevention Program offers year-long coaching to help you make lasting changes. If you're diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, it doesn't define your life. Modern medications have improved dramatically. Work with your healthcare provider team on the right combination of lifestyle changes, like we talked earlier, and medication if needed. Many people with type 2 diabetes live long, healthy, and active lives. Here's the bottom line. Type 2 diabetes is common, serious, and it's rising. But it's also largely preventable and in early stages, reversible. The decisions you make daily, what you eat, how you move, how you sleep, directly affect your blood sugars and your risk. You have more control than you might think. At the end of the day, we need to start with knowledge. Get tested if you haven't done it recently and know your A1C. Then pick one change to implement. Walking after dinner, swapping soda for water, adding vegetables to your plate. The bottom line, 58% risk reduction comes from ordinary actions you take every day. Your health is built from thousands of small decisions. Start making one today. And with that, until next time.